Welcome everyone to Awesome Truth, a wrestling book club. I'm your host, Steve Semino, and with me as always is my co-host, Walt Schwenk. Hey, Walters.
Hello, Steven. How's it going?
My friend, it is going very well. We are back on Awesome Truth, and we are doing a watch-along. As we promised last episode, Walt, we are sticking with Becky Lynch. We are watching a Becky Lynch match. Probably not the most famous Becky Lynch match, but the first important Becky Lynch match, right? Like the first one, maybe not her coming out party, but when she was finally sort of, I would say, admitted into the era of the top tier women's talent, along the lines of the women's revolution and all of that stuff.
Yeah, this is a match that is referenced in her book, which we just reviewed.
Available in the archives.
Available in the archives, of course. and also is kind of the culmination of this Give Divas a Chance, like, it's kind of like the end of the narrative of when Becky gets called up with Charlotte and Sasha for Team Bad and PCB or Submission Chicks or whatever, and then the Team Bella, and it was all kind of leading to this like, well, these are the three we actually want to highlight, and here's all these other people that just happen to make up the women's division, and this is a match with the people you actually want to see.
I was gonna say it's when they stopped sort of. Not that the other women didn't get their chances down the line, but where they finally said, yeah, you know, here's the three most important ones. Everyone else is sort of around.
Yeah. And which this was fair. Also around the time where it's like horsewomen.
Yeah.
But then there's a fourth
women,
one that you've never met.
And you would meet, I think, maybe later this year, maybe?
I can't remember.
Yeah, I was there, but I do not remember when. We'll have to look it up while we're watching. But just in case you haven't realized it from the name of this episode or the description or us talking about it, we're talking, of course, about WrestleMania 32, and it's the three-way triple threat match to crown the inaugural women's champion. So it was when they dumped the Divas belt, they brought back the women's belt, and it's Charlotte, it's Sasha, and of course it's Becky Lynch. So big deal match. They gave them 16 minutes, which was a lifetime back then for women in wrestling. So it really was the dawn of something different, at the very least, for WWE.
And a good reason to watch it again. Because
yes. And, like we said, we didn't want to do the Ronda match because overdone and ends poorly and really not that great. But this is a good one. I remember it very fondly. I remember it being just an extremely solid, well done match. Like they check off all the boxes and they're all great. So I'm ready to watch. You ready to go, Walt?
Let's do it.
And on Peacock, the time code for WrestleMania 32 is 1 hour, 56 minutes, and 25 seconds. We're doing the intros for this one because if you read Becky's book, the intros matter. So here we go. We are starting in 3, 2, 1, triple threat. And here's Becky's theme. Still, I don't think we did not put this in our top 10 themes, right? But probably an oversight on my part because I put AJ's theme. And honestly, Becky's theme is, Becky's got a weird hat
that, if I remember, she falls off and never gets put back on.
I mean, it's a silly hat, so
yeah, she really does nail it in her book, and the fact that she really doesn't have a character at this point. She's just like cool steampunk Irish lass kicker.
Yeah, which we talked about on the last episode. She just is a person, like, which is weird that everyone liked her. It doesn't totally make sense, but
yeah,
she had something about her that everybody got into. But it wasn't a character or a sort of defined purpose at this point.
Lita holding the belt.
That's a great belt too. That women's belt is fantastic.
Yeah.
The red
Lita's
one.
like, man, I wish this was around when I was a wrestler.
I don't remember what the belt was like when Lita was around. I think it was a little better than it became, right? It wasn't so horrifically pink with like flowers on it or raspberries or whatever they made it into.
Yeah, the fairy wing belt.
Fairies, that's what it was. Ugh, that was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was befitting the lack of respect it got, from the company. Was also the belt.
I have to talk about this because Becky brings it up in her book. It's like, Sasha was presented like a star and Charlotte was presented like a star, and then I just come in with my normal ass theme. I mean, this theme was cool, but like this is like, I don't know why Sasha didn't win this match. I mean,
yeah, because it's Charlotte, right? I mean, that's probably the answer.
I guess, but like this presentation of Sasha right now is, I don't know if this has ever been beat.
Yeah, it's pretty.
This is like
having Snoop come out and do this is just. I mean, Snoop is wearing literally a bathrobe, so
right. Well,
I think that is his everyday attire. But still,
Snoop is effectively a whore. But,
remember when Snoop saved Mania though?
Yeah, like punching the Miz in the mouth.
Didn't we talk about that recently, or was that an off-mic conversation? Somebody brought up to me that recently, and I totally forgot about it. And now I'll never forget about it because whoever it was out there, if you're listening and it was you, please contact me in real life and tell me. But someone mentioned that, and I said, "Oh, that's right. Wow, there's Sasha." Hey, also can't help but notice. Look how big WWE made Sasha, and now she is very highly paid. Yet another woman on the AEW roster. You know, all I'll say is presentation-wise, WWE is unbeatable. I think.
Well, maybe when the Big Show comes back, Snoop will return to sing Sasha the Ring again.
Yeah, she looks like $1 million though. This is huge. I mean, how do you not get into this? Like you said, it's not always the biggest intro that wins the match, but biggest intro does usually equal biggest star, which at WrestleMania frequently emerges victorious. So
wait, I said Big Show. I meant the go big or go home.
I
show.
Figured you did. I didn't want.
Big Show obviously is a Netflix.
But Big Show, but no BS. Paul White obviously works there or did work there, so you're not totally wrong.
I'm confusing my Big Show titled shows, yes. But. Obviously, I mean the Snoop Dogg reality competition show with Cody Rhodes.
Yes.
Whatever the hell that was called. I don't remember what it was called.
Wasn't that friend of the show, Leroy, on that?
Yes, he was.
Yeah, there you go. Bringing it all back, huh?
Wow. And Big Show, friend of the show. Well, I wasn't on that episode, but...
Yes. friend of the show, and then we talked about it.
Ben, what's his name? I can't remember his name.
Yeah, Matt Rice.
They interviewed someone, right?
Oh, that's right. Oh, my gosh. I don't remember his name either. Oh, my God. I hope he's not a listener of the show. I'm going to look him up. We did have a friend of the show.
So I have a good excuse. I wasn't there for that interview. But.
You were not. I shouldn't be looking this up while watching her come out. But Ben Giroux, of course.
Yes.
Anyway,
okay.
Ben Giroux, if you're somehow listening to this, apologies for forgetting your name. Great work on the Big Show.
Yes.
Anyway, here's Charlotte. There's the fairy wings. I forgot she was already champ anyway, so
yeah.
She got.
I didn't realize she
belt.
came down with the fairy wings. Then there's a new belt afterwards.
Do they do like a Lunder Blaze, throw it in the trash, or look how much bigger this is than? I mean, Becky didn't look bad or cheap or whatever coming out by comparison, but these other two women are certainly getting more pyro and more ballyhoo.
There's just clearly a delineation between the top entrance, then just another. I mean, I guess the steam is cool. I don't know.
Yeah.
But again, that doesn't mean anything.
No, it doesn't. But yeah, they did. It is clear who their top two priorities were. And again, these are the two that even now in the history books get recognized for having the quote unquote feud that mattered. But you know, it's I think in terms of Becky, at least, Charlotte is her greatest enemy, and I think what Charlotte did for Becky is ultimately more important historically than what she did for Sasha, even though all three of them became very big in their own way. And already were at this point. Already were on the path to that. So
yeah. I have some bad news. I'm getting heads.
Uh-oh. Yes, because you don't have Peacock at the moment.
Yeah, which is... I knew this was going to happen to me.
Yeah, you're going to have to figure this out.
Yeah, you're going to have to really timestamp this.
Okay. I'll keep you very updated. Fans seem pretty into it, I'll say that. This is a ton of people. I forgot it was at an AT&T Stadium. That's huge.
Who are they announcing right now?
Becky Lynch, crowd going cheering. She's doing devil horns. She doesn't look out of place, but now that we've read the book and she feels like Sasha looks smooth as hell, you know? Sasha looks like, sure, I've been here a million times. And Charlotte looks pretty, you know, Charlotte's got an air of just tough lady about, like, because she gets to play sort of the stoic person a lot, you know? So
yeah.
Where Sasha gets to play cool and bossy, for pun intended.
Yeah.
So, and then Becky's just like, I'm here, and I'm kind of just doing stuff.
I'm going to try and time this to the belt.
They're showing the big belt. The ref is holding the belt up. We are about to. The bell's about to ring.
Bell ring.
There we go. Ding, ding, ding. We're good.
Okay.
Close enough.
We're
At
in
least.
line.
Good luck on no ads. It's only 16 minutes, so.
Well, it's once every 8 minutes, it seems, on Daily Motion.
Okay, so you got one more ad then, probably.
Yeah.
Oh.
Next time I'll just download ahead of time and
That's true.
avoid all this. I'll just watch it in like 360 like
Becky
pixels.
mentions this in her book, and I knew this from Sasha and, just I guess eventually through logic, but it's amazing that their hair doesn't come off in these matches,
Well, is Becky's hair fake or is Becky's hair...
she made it sound like Sasha introduced her to like the concept of wigs and
extensions?
stuff, right? Yeah, extensions and all that stuff. So, but even then, like, so there's, I'm sure it's not as long and colorful as this at least at all times. So, it's wild. It's just wild. Whatever's going on with their hair, I can't believe it doesn't, ever become an issue.
Yeah, I don't know either. But
Becky just did the ceremonial roll out of the ring and give these other two 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Which I think she mentions in the book too, right? Wasn't someone in the triple threat who didn't understand how Ronda was, right?
Oh, it was Ronda.
That's one of the shades she throws at Ronda. Is Ronda didn't know, which I don't understand how you get to that Mania main event and you go, oh, by the way, Ronda, this is the whole concept of a triple threat match. Like, this is literally one of the core like 2 things you have to know is you have to sometimes take a powder for a few minutes.
But it's it's one of those things where if she hasn't been in a Money in the Bank or she's never been in a ladder match, she's never been in a Battle Royal Rumble, like, you just have, there is a cadence to these things where you have to just like figure out, like, oh, if I'm not in the center, then I have to get the fuck out of the way.
Yeah, and they did book her to her detriment. They let her do her MMA style just in a pro wrestling sort of format. So It wasn't like she ever learned a ton about rest holds and that sort of thing. Like, she was sort of going not a mile a minute, but she was going pretty quick. It wasn't the typical sort of speed and function of a normal match when she was out there frequently. So that probably didn't do her any service when it was time to have a normal match. She's probably like, what? I don't really know how to do that. Like, I know how to do a tag match. I know how to do a singles match that's 4 minutes long, but...
Which is why we didn't cover that match in the first place.
Yes, very much so. Because even in the moment watching that, we all knew Becky was going to win, and it was great to see Becky win. And the ending was botched. But even besides the ending being botched, the energy was it was another perfect storm of subparness, unfortunately.
Because we just saw a little bit of a botch with the sunset flip German from Sasha. That was a few minutes ago. But
yes, it was. But they covered for it pretty well, though.
Yeah.
They sort of got into place, without looking too silly about it.
I forgive them.
Yeah.
For what that's worth.
Especially with the adrenaline flowing, because this is the first. It's not the first pay-per-view for them, but it's certainly all their first WrestleManias. So I can't imagine how insanely excited and scared they all were. I know Becky talks about it in the book, but all 3 of them, to a certain extent, must have been like, "Oh my God, don't fuck up."
Right. Well, we all know from Becky's book that she definitely had confidence issues. So
yes, which Ric Flair's out there, the king, as you noted, the king of confidence issues. So
the parallels are endless. But but like, I'm not seeing the insecurity here. It's like she definitely holds her own with everybody so far. I mean,
well, it seemed like she's the kind of person who beat herself up, but then like. Sort of would like go into like she made it sound a little like she would go into like a daze sort of, or like she just wouldn't really remember it, and then it would be over, and then she'd be like, oh, I'm sure I did terrible, and everyone's like, what a great match, like she just wouldn't she not on autopilot at all, but just like would do her thing and was just naturally so talented, but then but like you said, instantly would start assuming the worst or getting nervous when it was really not justified.
Yeah. Also, I have to point this out is Becky's attire is just awful.
You don't like the little gears?
Well, but also
you don't like the Final Fantasy VI style steampunk?
Sure. Well, like the weird shin guards that kind of just are there, like doesn't make sense.
Yeah, the shin guards are not great.
Her corset is just like awkwardly shaped.
It does
Sorry,
not.
I sound like an asshole.
No, it's just like weird. Like you said, across the board, she just didn't. It's not her best look at all. Whereas Charlotte looks exactly the same as now. She looked that, Charlotte found a look and stuck with it, and it's served her very well.
Right. It's like the creative team clearly knew what they were doing with those two. It's like Becky. It's like, I don't know, gears. She's right now she's pulling up the damn like leg sleeve.
Yeah, because it's so inconvenient.
Right. Because what's the fucking point?
Yeah, there was so much work she still had to do, or they had to do with her on getting her to a place. You know, like we said, that was it's amazing that it's just this was not that long ago. This was what, 8 years ago? 32. We just had 40, right?
Yep.
Yeah, but it's they just did not care about characters for women, like minus the occasional Trish or Lita for decades. Like no one cared, and even then, those two women were in part defined by their feud.
Yeah,
what's Trish's character? I don't like Lita. Like that's kind of what people remember about it.
Yeah, Canadian tuxedos and leather. Yeah, but I will say though that a lot of these characters.
Becky's thing is literally falling off her foot now, but now I can't not stop noticing it.
Right. See, so I'm sorry for that, but no, but like, oh, that was a nice frog splash.
Yeah.
Good camera work.
Yep.
I will say though that like these, wow, that was the slowest 3 count I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But I will say, oh, I got to hit that pause. But no, you keep playing. I'll fast forward.
I'll get you back.
It's okay.
At least you got the frog splash in.
Yeah, it's true. I will say that, like, the NXT presentation of these characters was just carbon copied into the main roster. So, like, in NXT, Becky really didn't have much of a character. So it's not even like a main roster women don't care about women thing. It's like she just really was kind of like there.
Yeah, this was the era where, to their credit, they started doing that, because Kevin Owens is in a match earlier on this card, very similar. Like his character showed up one day and was just Kevin Owens, and they seem to finally sort of get like, oh, enough people care about NXT that we might as well just bring those characters straight up and let them just do their thing on a different stage. Which is smart, but like you said, it is just like, Becky, you're still Becky, and it's like, well, what if Becky isn't a thing yet? Well, give us a few years and we'll figure that out.
I mean, that's something we should revisit is Becky and NXT, because like I didn't really know because I wasn't like an advent or like I wasn't like a diehard NXT person back when they were.
No, neither was I.
Charlotte.
I started watching right when Becky when Sasha and Bayley had their sort of big matches.
Yeah.
And then I watched a lot of Asuka matches, but I didn't watch a lot of. By then, like these three were all gone.
Right. Did we see Victory Roll?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So I'm timed up.
Yes, you're good. You're all set.
Great.
I forgot why you're asking that. I was like excited about the Victory Roll.
Well, we were just talking about King of the Ring.
Yeah, that's true.
93, and that's really famous for Bret Hart's Victory Roll victory over Bam.
Yeah, that's right.
It's very loose connection.
This Mania is terrible, by the way.
Is it? Who was on this one?
Baron Corbin wins the Andre the Giant. Okay. We watched this together in DC. Roman beat the main event is Roman over Triple H. Oh, that was pretty cool.
That's suicide dive that just accidentally became a somersault.
Yeah.
She definitely got clipped in the ring. Or the ring ropes.
Or didn't. Yeah, or just wasn't going to make it and sort of just tucked her head.
Oh, wow. That could have been.
Rick.
It could have been. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah. Rick is old as dirt, but somehow is 8 years older now. And is there
you
she
see,
goes.
Ric Flair was waiting for Becky to hit her.
That's pretty great. See, that's a huge moment for Becky, too. She gets a jump on Rick. That's huge.
Yeah. It's like when Dean Ambrose fights like Dusty Rhodes.
It is, honestly. It's not that far off. It's not a huge, I think it's just a thing that happens in the match, but just the fact that happened.
This has been a pretty great match. I mean,
it's super fun, and the crowd's into it too. Like you can tell, these are. I think this is what sort of eventually became very obvious. Is these are the people everyone wanted to see. The crowd was just like, just give us the 3 best that you got, and then they did, and it worked out. It bought them a couple years until some other people came up and they figured Becky out and all that.
They probably figured that this was like, if after this it's Roman H.
Yeah,
so
that's true. Oh, Baron Corbin is coming out too. Oh, and after this, the match after this is the Hell in a Cell Taker Shane match.
Oh, what a
wow! There's the fan. There's moonsault. That's a good moonsault.
It's a great moonsault.
Yeah, she's good at moonsaults. She's so like long. It's so wild to see
Yeah.
her long ass body flipping in the air.
Her and Adam Page do great moonsaults.
That's right. It's just like she's so high up. It looks so terrifying.
She's a former gymnast, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
That makes sense.
Yeah, you have to sort of be to do that. Like, you couldn't. Even if I had somehow the physical prowess, I would be so scared to do.
Think about like Michaels used to do a moonsault and like would land like all weight on you. Like Charlotte gets all the way around where she really is putting probably zero weight on.
I'm sure it's so much better to take.
Wow.
Fortunately, Michaels I think did it to a lot of big guys too. So at least Vader was catching him or Kama Mustafa or something, you know. So.
Right. Because Michaels is considered a small guy at like 6'1" and like 225.
Yeah, bigger than everyone on the roster now.
It's like dwarfs over Daniel Bryan.
This is a great heel thing. I love the covering someone multiple times.
Yeah, just in case.
It's so stupid because like that's never how wrestling works, you know. Like, but you're so blown away that you can't get the win. You're like, well, surely if I just keep going back and doing it.
Yeah, just keep trying.
Where is Charlotte hurt right now? Is that why she's not wrestling? Because Charlotte's not right now. Charlotte is inactive. Becky's a free agent, as we noted, and Sasha's in AEW. So like they're all gone.
Yeah,
it's wild.
Bailey's there.
Yeah, Bailey's champ. So Bailey's fighting. As this episode comes out, we're giving away how early we're recording this. Bailey's has a match at the next pay-per-view.
Clash of the Cast.
That's right. Yeah, Clash of the
big cast.
Yeah, right. That was cool.
Yeah.
Becky with a drop kick into both of them, kind of.
Yeah, I'm sure that was intentional.
Yeah, there's a lot of. They're really good at. It's not a ton of false finishes, but they're good at like doing high impact moves every like 2 minutes. You know.
Yeah.
Someone is busting out something else new.
Yeah, they realize that it's like, oh, we're gonna just go all out and show people. This is something to prove.
This is without a doubt the best match on the card too, because like I said, it's a terrible card. So maybe unless you're a big Zack Ryder stan and you like Zack Ryder winning the IC title, other than that, there's not a ton to really like. This is with Lesnar versus Dean. It's like I said, Taker, Shane, Roman H. It's a really shitty Mania. AJ Jericho, I guess, was that good? I don't even remember.
It's been so lame. It's been so lame.
This is it, right? No, Becky takes the L, right?
I don't know about that.
Oh.
I think this is it.
Oh.
Oh, no, maybe you're right, yeah.
Oh, she reversed it. Yeah, Becky's there. I believe Becky even says she takes the...
I love how...
It just makes sense for Becky to lose.
I love how all these women have submissions.
Yeah, that's a great point. That really does define them. Does Bayley have a submission? She does now, right?
Yeah, but back then she was just the Bayley and Belly.
But it really is like it was such a wild thing compared to a decade before this, where you barely had a finisher, let alone a submission.
Right.
Because you weren't wrestling, so why whatever you were doing in the ring was barely wrestling. So Vince didn't want you to wrestle. Vince would have been horrified if you tried to wrestle.
Yeah, what were the finishers of the Divas division back in circa 2005?
I know Nikki Bella.
What was Kelly's finisher?
Didn't she do the butt to you in the corner?
The butt.
I swear she would do a running like ass Rikishi move in the corner to you. That's in my head for some reason?
It's a blind spot in my wrestling fandom. It's Kelly's diverse moveset. People are going nuts for this.
They are. That's great. Oh.
I love how their hair is all just so distinct.
Yeah. The orange hair for Becky is a great look. I mean, it's great for all of them, but...
It's like when Sheamus just like leans into his Irishness.
Yeah. If you're not going to have a character, you might as well have a good look, you know?
Yeah, true. Oh, ad.
Uh-oh.
30-second ad.
Well, I think we're getting close to the end, so hopefully you'll come back before it's over. Yeah, Sasha just rolled. Sasha's gone, so I'm concerned that we're almost over.
Well, you'll have to.
I'll tell you. Charlotte's on the top rope. Becky's putting her up there. Charlotte's fighting back. It's getting moving a little slow, but punch. Can't tell. Becky's probably going for a superplex, but it's one of those like There's no way you're going to actually do a superplex right now.
Wow.
Oh, Sasha's coming. Oh, this is fun. They're all up in the top rope together. Oh, there goes Becky. I don't even remember what's going to happen here. It looks like it might be cool.
Well, invest Qatar. I'm.
Oh, there you go. Well, yeah.
ads.
You do need to invest in Qatar. I agree. Oh, here we go. Whoa. It is actually. Whoa. Are you watching? Whoa. I forgot about that. Little fisherman's from the top. Wow. Like a fisherman's in name only. You know, like the leg wasn't super hooked. But
it's a perfect plex, yes.
Yeah, it wasn't a perfect plex, but it was a fisherman's. All right, now Becky.
So now Becky is grabbing Sasha?
Yes, correct. Well, good for them. I really thought this was going to wrap up after the figure 8 or whatever, but
wow.
Oh, here we go. Now see Charlotte's doing some heel shit.
That was a little sloppy.
Although I can't tell. I don't remember who's actually a heel. Are both the Charlotte and Sasha heels? Oh, it's over anyway.
I mean, Sasha's a heel in character.
Oh, and Rick's doing some great heel shit, holding her on the outside, and Becky taps. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah,
that was better than I remember. I remember that being good, and now I'm like, that was very good. It's a great pace. Like they go hard, but it's not a spot fest. You know, like it kind of is, but it's not to the detriment of the match or like they're showing off too much. Just very solid, fast-paced match.
I'm still a little like Sasha probably should have won this one, but I mean because it was a first and Charlotte, totally makes sense. Not gonna criticize.
No, I mean they all got their shots. Like they all, like I don't know if we talked about this totally, but are these three are all in the top 5 all time WWE, right?
Like
who else
top
would
5
is it the top 5 women? Yeah.
Asuka, I would put up there.
You think Asuka's higher than Sasha at this point, just because she's stuck around? But I mean,
I don't say higher, but she's in the top 5.
Would you put a Lundra Blaze? Would you put a Lundra Blaze over Sasha?
Sorry, nope.
Would you put Lita and Trish at this point over them still?
No, these are clearly the best.
You think these? So you think these three are 3 of the 5 at least?
Look what we just watched.
Yeah, I mean it is. It's amazing, like, with one match. I know it wasn't this simple, but it is sort of like...
Trish deserved the spot.
Yeah, it's all... Now, like, after this match, like, this was sort of... Like we said, this is sort of... After this, women's wrestling becomes a thing, you know? It's certainly not an equal thing to the men, and it's still not now, but it becomes commonplace to see matches like this on every Mania, on every SummerSlam. Like, it definitely... The stigma is pretty much gone after this, you know, at least in terms of big matches.
Also, the fact that she's holding up an actual belt and not like a bunch of fairy bullshit. Like, yeah, I'd say it's pretty cemented at this point. And then shortly after, they do the SmackDown version of this too, right?
Yes, I believe so. Which Becky wins.
Yep.
And there we go. Then we're off to the races. Even though, again, there's still only like 2 women's matches on every card, but still better than 0. And certainly the ones that happen do stand out and are a big deal. And
sometimes they main event.
Yeah, and sometimes they main event. And Becky Lynch, who we've talked about now on the show 2 episodes in a row, is a big part of that. So it's great. She's, she undersells her performance in that match. She's a key cog in that match. Like she's great. They all play their roles perfectly. It really is. It really is. They're all simpatico and they work together so well. It's a great pairing of 3 people.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where you can't even be upset to not win the match because just being in the match means a lot.
Yeah.
And
again, this card sucks, but even on a good Mania, that might still be the best match, Yeah,
cannot stress that enough how bad that card was.
It's hideously bad. But it's best match in a Mania is best match in a Mania, and again, it's a 4 or 4.5 star match. It would compete for best matches on a lot of Manias. So good for them. Fun one to watch. Great choice, Walt. I like it.
Yeah,
we like wrestling.
Becky, good wrestler.
Becky, thank you. Yeah, there you go. I forgot that was sort of
absolutely. That convinced me.
Not always. I mean, I wouldn't say bangers all the time, but big shows up for big matches for sure. And in this one, without a doubt, a key cog in a great match. So,
yeah,
there you go.
So treat.
Thanks, Becky. What a treat. We
Watch
love
along
you.
Treat.
It's a treat.
They're not always treats.
They're not always treats.
I cannot stress that enough. These watch-alongs sometimes are hot dumpster fire.
Yep, but this one's a good one. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed that as well. If you want to hear us talk about Becky Lynch, otherwise, her book, which just came out, which we discussed, you can find that episode in the archives, awesometruth.libsyn.com. You can also find it on Apple's Podcast, Spotify, everywhere podcasts are, we are there. Subscribe, old episodes, new ones, they're all there for you and your enjoyment. So go do that. Walt, great to talk Becky with you. We'll close the literal book on her now, but we'll see what she does next. Like it's in real life, in real time wrestling, we'll see if she comes back, if she goes somewhere else, and what's next in store for her. So that'll be interesting to keep our eye on.
Yeah, she's a quote unquote free agent at the time of this recording, but
it would be insane for her to go to AEW, but
what are you doing?
If they back up a truck to your house with a bunch of money in it and you have to work 2 days a week, I mean, that does sound pretty good.
Just like we speculated last time, like I don't think she needs the creative liberty to go to Japan. She's already kind of done that, so
yes.
I'm not sure what else.
I think she should take 6 months off and come back and do more WWE, but we'll see.
Probably, if I was a betting man, I would. That's exactly what will happen.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Thank you all so much for listening, and remember, the truth will set you free.